Welcome, me Herman here, and
Good news, everyone!
so as you might have heard, the Ubers tier yesterday decided to suspect test or start a suspect test of Zacian Crown. So I think this is certainly a requisite suspect test. I'll say that. Zacian, I don't know if it should be banned. I'm trying to give it a fair shake, but it definitely deserves a suspect test. Why is Zacian being suspect tested? Well, because it's really, really strong, and things that should be banned are things that are broken. So I took this all from this quote tiering policy thread by Hogg on the smogon.com forums. And I'll leave the link in the description. And so it has a lot of definitions. And so it has the definition of broken here. Elements that are too good relative to the rest of the metagame, such that more skillful play is almost always rendered irrelevant. Well, I think that Zacian and maybe Calyrex Ghost, or Ghost Rider, what it's really called, are maybe too good relative to the rest of the metagame. And I think there's also this want for, under team building skill, for creativity. And I think what I'm going to show is there's maybe not some. It's hard to have creativity with Zacian. And then also, if Calyrex gets tested, which it very well might, and it gets banned, which it very well might, then Zacian's going to be like the fastest thing on the block, and life is going to come down to a bunch of Zacian speed ties, which I kind of was having more of, I don't know, a couple months ago. But certainly trying to win coin flippy speed ties is not very skillful play. So why is it so strong? It has this great ability, typing speed, move pool, and I have to say very limited checks. So let's try and do this. So its ability is Intrepid Sword. So it holds this item and gets this ability, Intrepid Sword, that raises its attack by sort of one stage when it enters the battlefield. So it's like having a choice band, but you can switch up moves. Its typing is amazing. Steel Fairy, Magirna's typing, it's one of the best typings in the game. And its base stats are just huge. Now, you have to think of this more like a Mega in terms of base stats, right? Because it can't hold a Life Orb on top of this. But the fact that it comes in with this ability, it's like it has a choice band and can switch up moves, so maybe you don't care that it can't hold a Life Orb. So these are really amazing stats. Its speed is just incredible. I think Deoxys attack speed is 150. Obviously, Deoxys attack is not in this tier right now, or probably not going to be in Gen 8, but this is really, really, really fast. It also has a couple immunities, but also it's immune to Toxic and Toxic Spikes. So Toxicing on the switch, maybe chipping it down isn't going to help, and it's just immune to Toxic Spikes. And it also resists Stealth Rock, so it's not like, it's like 4 times weak to Stealth Rock or something, and it's hard to get in, and it can't use boots because it resists Stealth Rock, so that's really good. And of course, Steel Fairy only has two times weaknesses, so that's why it's such excellent typing. So that's why it's so strong, maybe too strong. And then unlike something like Calyrex, I'm just going to call it Calyrex Ghost, this thing has a great move pool. Behemoth Blade, Play Rough, Wild Charge, Crunch, Assurance, which I'd never used on a competitive set until this year, but we've now discovered that, having a Necrozma switch in on rocks and then take a base 120 power Assurance, because Assurance doubles in power if you take damage previously that turn, it's amazing coverage. There are very few checks because of it. Like Ho-Oh, if they run Wild Charge, Ho-Oh is not a good check. Also gets Fire Fang and Ice. It's really good. You know, close combat and Fire Fang, so you can't use Ferrothorn to check it. It's good. It's really, really good. Oh, and it also gets Swords Dance and Agility. So it can run a double dance set. It has a great move pool. So in terms of potential counterplay for Zacian, I've used a bunch of different things. I've tried Arcanine. It's defensive Arcanine. It's a fire type. It has Intimidate. So you remove the +1 boost that Zacian gets. And then you're fire type, so you resist its dual stab. And you wear heavy duty boots, so you don't take rocks. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good set. But then people start to run like Swords Dance, and then if they have Swords Dance in close combat, you basically have to switch in at almost exactly full. And since your only recovery is like Morning Sun, oftentimes you're trying to recover and then Kyogre switches in, it prevents your recovery, and scares you out, so it's not the greatest. Unaware Quagsire is something that I especially see stall teams use, and I've used a bit myself. Not necessarily on stall, I don't think. But, you know, it takes so much from Play Rough, just because of Zacian's great stats, that it always has to click Recover afterwards. And then you can switch in any Mon, because, honestly, Quagsire just... It doesn't really have any offensive presence. You know, it doesn't really threaten things too much, and especially when it has to click Recover. So, really not the best. And so the one sort of solid check / counter, really check, is the Crossman, Duskmane, the physically defensive set that I have on like every team, and like everyone has on every team, because you need to have it. But again, you have this problem where, well, you want to use Rocky Helmet because otherwise you're not really punishing the Zacian, but then, you know, you don't have any leftovers recovery, and if Stealth Rocks are up, and you take Stealth Rocks on the switch, and Assurance, you're going to get 2-hit KO'd. So that's not the greatest. So then, okay, maybe you wear heavy-duty boots, but then you're not punishing Zacian. Like, it has trouble picking its item. Also, like I said, it can just be beaten by Rocks and Assurance, and often Zacian runs Crunch, and you just spam Crunch, and if they're not Rocky Helmet, you're not being punished. And eventually, you'll get a defense drop, and you're just kind of going to knock it out. So it sort of beats its only real check / counter. I think this is the only really viable one because of what I said about Arcanine and Quagsire. I really don't see those. It's only real sort of good counterplay. Of course, I think if Primal Groudon was in the tier, or in this generation, it might be a different story, but that's not the world we live in. So, there are ways of sort of revenge killing it. I've used sort of Rocky Helmet plus Dugtrio, and Skarmory plus Dugtrio to make it close combat or Wild Charge and take recoil. And then Dugtrio can trap it and kill it if it's Choice Scarf. But Dugtrio this is a very niche thing. Like, you shouldn't have to run very niche things like Dugtrio. It's not that great otherwise. Ditto also, you know, Scarf Ditto, it gets the boost of Zacian's boost, so that's a nice way to revenge kill it. And then Calyrex Shadow is naturally faster, so that can sort of be a way to revenge kill it. So, there's sort of revenge killers, but none of these things switch into Zacian. So, is this too much for Ubers, right? I've just sort of gone through a bunch of reasons why Zacian's really strong. But there are a lot of strong Pokemon in Ubers, and there are a lot of pretty centralizing Pokemon in Ubers. You have to run a Kyogre check, you know, or Scarf Kyogre is just going to run your team over. But, you know, there are many different ways to check Kyogre. I've used a bunch. Palkia, you know, Ferrothorn. People used to run Dialga, and Abomasnow I really like because of Hail Chip, and you beat every set. So Zacian, there's really only one real, I think, viable counterplay, and that's Necrozma. Unless you're running super duper stall, maybe Quagsire's okay. But it means that Necrozma's on every team, and that's very team building restrictive. So, but I want to give Zacian a fair shot. I don't want this just to be a rubber stamp on the Uber's Council, just they say we should test this thing and then we all say, oh yeah, ban it, I don't want this to be just a rubber stamp. So, maybe some downsides of Zacian is it can't use an item, so you always know kind of what speed it can max out as. But it, because of its ability, it basically has a choice band. It can switch up moves. It's better than a no item. Its ability is. And then I guess it's a choice band with no ability, but it's really good. Tends to keep some common threats in check. Maybe that's a good argument. I don't know. It sometimes has 4 move slot syndrome. This is true. You kind of want to play rough because you want to hit the Veltal. I guess a Behemoth Blade kind of hits a Veltal, but you want to hit Eternatus. Where's the, Then you also need Wild Charge to hit Ho-Oh. And you want Close Combat, and you want Assurance, because you want to hit Necrozma on the Stealth Rock. So, you kind of want all these moves, maybe one of these two. So, it kind of has 4 move slot syndrome, and maybe you want Swords Dance or Agility. So, it sort of maybe has a bit of 4 move slot syndrome, but I don't think it's really that bad. Sometimes I say about some things that are in the Uber's tier, or were, that they shouldn't be banned because they were really frail. Well, this thing isn't frail at all. It has great typing and it has great bulk. And it doesn't really need any setup. It just switches in and it gets its boost. So, yeah, this thing, it's very strong. But we're going to be getting Rex on the Suspect Test ladder. Here's the thread with the Zacian Suspect Test, sort of reasoning, and, information about games required and such and such. And it looks like they need 2/3 to ban. So that's a kind of a, if this was American politics, that'd be a huge hurdle to climb. But I think it's a reasonable number to require, and often in suspect tests you get numbers 66 and greater. So yeah, I'm excited for the suspect test, and I'll be back with the start of the suspect video. And this is the team we're going to start off with, getting Rex. I was watching some replays of some Gen 8 tournament thing, which I didn't even know was going on. I saw this guy Sky Solo, and he had a team, and I didn't have the sort of team as like a pace spin or something. I just sort of had to either guess the items or know the items when they got knocked off, and guess the sets or know the sets, because of moves he used. But this was basically the team, and for the low ladder, as long as you bring 6 Ubers, you're usually okay. So we're going to be using this team. It has a Scarf Kyogre and Thunder Wave, which is I think to support Dracovish, because we have banded Fishy Strand Dracovish in the range, just insane. We have Calyrex Shadow, again to sort of revenge kill, maybe Zacian and stuff. Choice Specs, Trick to cripple a Veltal, Great Mon. Again, the just standard Necrozma everybody needs. I put a little speed for speed creep. Especially defensive of Veltal. This Calyrex is a threat. And this guy Sky Soul had a Life Orb Eternatus. I don't really know his EV spread, but this is a very offensive spread. So yeah, this is the team we're gonna ladder with, and so I'll be back with the first game. Alright, and we're back, and we're gonna get this suspect test laddering underway. I'm pretty tired right now. If I make a mistake because I'm super tired and then I have to restart my laddering, that might happen. Here we go. Okay, so my opponent's team, very interesting team, has the Zamzameta. Is this the Dauntless one? I think this is the one that gets plus defense, right? My opponent's team is actually going to be kind of hard to break. Because Blissey and T-Tar is good answers to Kyogre and Calyrex. I think if we can trick the T-Tar some specs, that'll be good. So leads on our end. Kyogre could be a lead. Yeah, I think they're gonna predict my Kyogre lead. I think I'm gonna lead Dracofish. The reason is, well, this was not the greatest. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go hard Necrozma and get my rocks up. As my opponent goes for Play Rough. This is not the good one. This is obviously not Zacian. As my opponent continues Play Roughing me, so this is great. I'm just gonna click T-Wave here and hope to get some para hacks. Okay, my opponent is just intent, and my opponent forfeits. Alright, so that's the first battle, and I'll be back with the second. And we're back, and my opponent has a lot of OU-mons, or less. A lot of legendaries. I think I just lead Eternatus. Eternatus. Oh, I could have led what's its Kyogre. So I don't really switch into this very well. I'm just gonna start to spam some Sludge Wave. This looks defensive. It has Earthquake. That's surprising. I'm gonna recover here. So my opponent continues to Earthquake. I'm gonna go into Veltal. And U-turn out. Woo, that did a lot. But now my Kyogre is inside. So this is good. And just click Water Spout. Ever notice whenever you register an account, it always asks you to name Pikachu? And it's like, what is this Pokemon? Like, they could... Like, I feel like someone could, you know, create a bot to, like, put in Pikachu. Just saying. So Celebi comes in. We have two very weakened Pokemon. I think we just go into Veltal. I don't really fear too much from a Celebi, as we get Energy Ball. And it's Life Orb. Holy heck. I'm just gonna Roost. Yeah, I know it gets Dazzling Gleam. But we are specially defensive, and this is a Celebi. So we get back to basically full. My opponent goes into Lugia. So I don't want to take a Toxic here. I'm gonna go... I'm gonna go into Necrozma. Zap Cannon. That happened. And now we get Zap Cannon. Okay. Are we gonna continue to be Zap Cannon? I'm just gonna Moonlight here. Because we might get Zap Cannoned again. The lower ladder is always an interesting place, especially in Ubers. So my opponent goes into Celebi. This is again just free of Veltal. So my opponent goes for Energy Ball. I'm gonna go for U-turn here. Ancient Power crits me. That's awesome. But we take out the Celebi. I'm gonna go into Eternatus. I kind of want to keep out this Suicune. Suicune's pretty strong. And this Ho-Oh doesn't have boots, which is very interesting. I would like to recover this. I don't think... yeah, I don't think a Veltal is really useful for anything on my opponent's team. Because it just, you know, it has foul play. Maybe that's okay against Entei and Ho-Oh. As my opponent goes into Entei, we get the U-turn off, back into Kyogre, and now we get another kill with Water Spout, I imagine. Woo, that did a lot. Life Orb. But there we go. And now here comes the problem. I think I'm gonna go hard into Eternatus. If my opponent goes for Scald, takes us out, that's more than fine. What the heck? This is this thing's item. Kinda wish I had Thunder right now on Kyogre. I think the play here is to go into Draco Fish. Click Banded Fishious Rend. Oh my god, that just knocked it out. Jeez Louise, this thing is so strong. That's a Suicune, that's a resist. Here's Lugia, as my opponent continues to try and hit Zap Cannon. Not so effectively, and Oh is the last mod. So, good game to my opponent. We'll be back with another one, and I'll see you then. Alright, and we're back, and my opponent has mostly Ubers, and kind of a threatening team. Let's see. Yeah, this Regieleki is actually a big threat. I gotta keep Eternatus healthy for that. Honestly, I think I'm gonna lead Necrozma, because I'm really scared of, well, Zacian, somewhat. And, I was also kind of scared of Darmanitan. So now that this thing is in, I think the play is to go into our own Veltal. So it'd be really annoying if this thing has Sucker Punch. Okay, so it taunts. I'm just gonna click U-turn here. Hopefully we're slower, or my opponent switches. Yeah, this is... my opponent really needs this for my Calyrex. But yeah, that Regieleki is really scary. That thing is specs. So, it shows Sucker Punch, so we get the free switch off. You could go into Kyogre and click Ice Beam. That might not be the worst play ever. Or we could go into Draco Fish, but I'm really scared I'm not faster. This thing looks really... It could be faster. So yeah, I think we're gonna go into Kyogre and just click... Oh, it has leftovers. That's interesting. You know what? Actually, we're gonna click Thunder Wave. The weird Kyogre tech. Because now Draco Fish... I can never say this thing's name. Draco Fish. Now Draco Fish is faster, right? And my opponent forfeits. Alright. That could have been a bit of a scary battle. But we'll get another one. Alright, we're back. My opponent has a very interesting team. I feel I say that a lot. But it looks pretty weak to Draco Fish, truth be told. I think my opponent would lead the Groudon. I think I'm gonna lead a Veltal and try and U-turn out into my Kyogre. Right. So the Groudon is faster. Well, now it's really faster. So this thing is a problem. How do we deal with this? I think we go into Kyogre here. And pray we live and hit Origin Pulse. Yeah, I'm not so in love with this team. It doesn't really have a good Xerneas answer. I mean, I think a well-played Xerneas and a well-played Zacian is just sort of GG for this team. Where are we going into? So, yeah, but we got past that threat. Yeah, this guy seems to sort of know what he is doing. Oh my god, that did so much. I really hope that's not Scarfed. That is Scarfed. Dang. Alright. Well, now we go into Dracofish. Draco thing, and we get a kill. Like, something drops here. Yeah, this is bye-bye. So, yeah, that Kyogre is a threat, as Scarf Kyogre is. Opponent goes for Moonblast. I think I'm just gonna click Thunder Wave here. I would love to Thunder Wave anything on my opponent's team. I don't think rocks are that important right now. The heck do I switch into this? I sort of need this for Tapu Lele. I wonder if that's Specs. I guess we go into our own Yveltal. It's gonna be sort of tricky. We gotta keep this thing really healthy. Nice, we get the U-turn off. So if the Kyogre is Scarf, is this gonna be Scarf? I really don't want to do the heckin' calc. I think we just go into Necrozma and click Stealth Rocks. I'm pretty sure it'll go back to... Oh, it goes into Calyrex here. Okay. So this thing's a bit... Oh, it's Train Extender Tapu Lele. Okay. Well, that's good to know. So Kyogre is going to be able to sort of knock that out pretty easily. This is probably Life Orb, actually. I've seen, like, Life Orb these things. So, yeah, that's not going to do half, and we're going to take it out. Oh, was it Life Orb? No, like maybe Spell Tag? Anyways, and my opponent forfeits. So, yep, another win. This, we're just moving up the ladder. And I'll be back with the next one. Alright, and we're back. So I don't think I'm going to get too many more games with this team. Because... I think it's not the greatest team. We saw in that last game, if my opponent, if we had missed that Origin Pulse with Kyogre, we would have been in a lot of trouble. So, leads on our end. I do like Eternatus, but that just gives Chansey a free switch in. I mean, Chansey is not going to be sort of... Yeah, so we lead Kyogre, so this gets us Rain. Now we go into Dracofish. And it's sub Chansey. Alright, I'm just going to click Vicious Rend a couple times. Sub Toxic. Wow. That is so Cancer. And it's gone. So, what a pain in the butt that was. But now my opponent doesn't really have a good Ice Beam switching. Which is nice. Or Stealth Rocks. So, interesting team by my opponent. Still has some threats we'll have to deal with. That looks Scarfed. So I'm just gonna U-turn. Oh. Shoot, I wish the rain wasn't ending right here. Definitely awkward. Because this rain's about to run out. But... yeah, but I still feel like a max power water spout is going to do a ton. Yeah, did 80, a Guava Berry. and it'll still do a ton. So that threat's taken care of. Now Dracofish can come in. Dracofish can come in and start to sweep me or get a kill, but he doesn't go into Dracofish. Goes into Naganadel. This is where we go into Necrozma. Air Slash. Well, that's interesting. I'm gonna click Thunderwave. This thing is a big threat. And I don't want to mess around with the threat. I don't know what we're supposed to do against Zygarde with this team. Yeah, so I mean, I feel like my opponent's gonna go Zygarde, but yeah, I wasn't gonna overpredict. So we get this thing paralyzed. I'm gonna get Stealth Rocks up. Why is it slower than us? I'm gonna hit it with a Sunsteel Strike. Do a ton. Takes me out. I don't really mind. Eternatus is definitely faster. Oh, I put some bulk on the Eternatus, so hopefully we can take hits better, because we don't take hits too well, as you saw last game. So Latios comes in. Really, Yveltal is just here for this Latios now. Maybe it's Scarfed. I don't know if that's Scarf damage. I'm just gonna... Nope, it's not Scarf. So, we could have stayed in. We didn't want to risk it. Let's go to Calyrex here. I think Calyrex might just sweep. I doubt the Dracofish is Scarfed. So, now we're +1 and Specs. I'm sure that crit didn't matter. Probably gonna knock out this Zygarde. Yep. And then the Dracofish. So, yeah, I think they were talking about maybe suspect testing Calyrex too, which I understand because its only real check. Well, it probably has other checks like Sapsipper Drampa. I was thinking about using, but it doesn't have great checks and Ubers, and if you trick the Yveltal, it's often not bueno for the Yveltal. So I might get one more game with this team and wrap it up, and yep, so I'll be back with the probably final game with this team. Alright, and we're back with the final game. My opponent has a pretty standard looking team, except with the Zacian regular. Although, this thing hits really hard with Choice Band Play Rough. Luckily, we have Necrozma. Leads. I'm not sure what I want to lead. So I gotta save Yveltal for the Calyrex. I think just Eternatus. Ooh, my opponent led Zacian. So, and it went first, meaning it's faster. Well, it's naturally faster. But this is free Necrozma. Right. Look at that hit. Jeez, that is like resisted on max Fizz Def. That's amazing. So I'm guessing this is like really fast banned. But my opponent has no ground type. Neither do I, actually. So I'm just gonna Thunder Wave something, probably catch this Yveltal, or hit the Calyrex. Something's getting Thunder Waved. And then this team is gonna be a lot easier to take care of. So my opponent goes into his own Necrozma. That's really annoying. I think we go into Yveltal here. And just click Defog. We should scare this thing out, I imagine. Because my opponent goes right into Zacian. No rocks right now. I mean, the switch is so obvious, but this is what Zacian does. Yeah. It forces the switch to be so obvious. So now we're not going to get Stealth Rocks, which stinks. But yeah, there's just so little counterplay. So that thing's gone. So now we lose our Stealth Rocks. But now we go into Kyogre, and we're just gonna click Water Spout. If this Eternatus is not specially defensive, it's gonna get 2 KO'd. Oh, it's very specially defensive. Alright. This game is not going well. Yeah, not really at all. I guess we could go into Dracofish? No. This thing's probably kinda slow. God, losing a Crosby there is really bad. I think we go into the Calyrex. Yeah, as my opponent goes for Dynamax Cannon. We go for Trick here, which I think is the play on this Yveltal. Or on the Eternatus. Yeah, so we get a Yveltal with the Trick. And we get some boots, which is nice. The Eternatus didn't heal. I don't know how much Ice Beam is going to even do, though. That was our kind of, main... Wait, what was I saying? Zacian check? Whatever. Anyways... Alright, my opponent is staying in to click Foul Play. That is a thing they can do. No, I don't think it's a good thing. Because now they're stuck in Foul Play. And I'm just gonna click Flamethrower, I think. I'm sure I'm faster than their Eternatus, because of how little it took from Scarf Water Spout. Yeah, so Flamethrower on the Necrozma. Oh, we barely missed out on the 2 KO. Yeah, but we're just gonna take this thing out. Or not. Alright, I think... Oh, I meant to go into Dracofish. I think we don't predict, we just click Water Spout. Yep. My opponent predicts me to overpredict. So we prevent rocks, which is great. I wonder what their Scarfer is. It's either Kyogre or it's... Yeah, it's either Kyogre or their Calyrex. So this is awkward. I think we just go into Eternatus and sort of sack it off here. Oh, as my opponent goes for Thunder, so we don't sack it off, but we do get paralyzed, so that's a thing. I'm gonna click Sludge Wave, predicting the Zacian to come in. Yep. Please don't get paralyzed. Yes. Alright, so big threat taken care of right there. So we're making a comeback. So I'm guessing that Kyogre is choiced. Now we have this issue. Yeah, so not much we can do about that. This thing is such an issue. I'm not sure what to do about it. I could go into Kyogre and Thunder Wave it, but then what do I switch out to? I don't want to go for Outrage, so... We have Boots. We could Draining Kiss here. We are faster. So, I think just Draining Kiss is a good play. I figure my opponent's going to go into a Yveltal. I don't think you'd let me hit this Eternatus, even though it is specially defensive. But we'll see. Yeah, so here comes the Yveltal, as predicted. Wow, that is absolutely 0. That's bad. So I'm gonna go into my own Yveltal. I figure a Sucker Punch or Toxic to me. It's really annoying. I think we just U-turn here, because yeah. because my opponent's locked into Toxic, I go into Calyrex, and I'm just gonna click Aromatherapy. So Aromatherapy coming in handy. I guess they could go to their Kyogre and take advantage of my Yveltal. My opponent again goes for Toxic. I think, alright, so my opponent's staying in to click Toxic, so that's fine. Again, I have Aromatherapy. And I mean, Outrage probably gets a kill here, but then I'm locked in. I could Predict and click Psychic Fangs on the Eternatus. That actually might be the best play. Let's click Psychic Fangs. Okay, my opponent goes into Kyogre and takes a big hit. I really don't have a good switch in. Yeah, so we just stay in, we take out the Kyogre. That was a big threat. Dracovish is on its last legs. Calyrex comes in. I think we go to Yveltal here. As my opponent goes for Draining Kiss. Oh no, don't you. That did a ton. So we click Foul Play. We should be able to Revenge Kill this with Kyogre. Yeah, we're at full. So that was definitely annoying. Yeah, we just click Water Spout here. Not gonna do too much. Jesus, that did nothing. Yeah, we're having some trouble. So back into this. On the recover. Now let's go into Kyogre on the Yveltal. Yeah, we gotta start making some plays here. If my opponent stays into Dynamax Cannon, okay, I'm gonna click Thunder Wave. This thing is slow. We can probably deal with it. Alright, now I'm gonna go into Calyrex and just Aromatherapy. Our way to win this is probably Kyogre once we get this Eternatus taken care of. So now we click Aromatherapy. This thing is a nuisance. Yeah, Dracovish can't really even switch in. So let's start spamming Astral Barrage here. Once we knock this out, we're going to be in good shape. Opponent could go into a Yveltal. Well, he's giving me this, which is just what I need. So, let's see. That did 31. So, this is great. This thing is no longer a threat, really. Yeah, I think we just click Astral Barrage, we get our +1. We go from there. This is probably going to come down to hitting an Origin Pulse, which I'm not thrilled about, tell you the truth. So we get off a bit of damage there. Oh, it was my opponent Roos. That was a big misplay. Let's see. Can we take advantage of that? I don't see how. I'm just gonna spam Draining Kiss for a bit. Oh, I know how we're gonna take advantage of this. Oh no, wait. Alright, Dracovish. This is how we're gonna take advantage. Oh, and now my opponent switches. Well, that's annoying. I'll say that much. I think we kind of have to sack this. We have no choice. And now it comes down to hitting this stupid Origin Pulse. I think if we Thunder... No. We have to hit Origin Pulse here. Or we lose. Which really stinks. Because Origin Pulse can miss. Oh, but we hit, so we knock out the Calyrex. I think that'll be the game. I don't see how my opponent wins with a... with a choice specs Veltal. You could spam foul play, I guess. But I think we should still come out on top. Yeah. Oh, do we have to add another one? That was... Jeez. I probably should have switched out and then started going for Ice Beams, because it was more accurate. So, okay, really close game, that last one. But I think that's all I'm going to do with this team. And then next time go with a different, a little bit more sturdy team. So, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. I hope everyone had a Happy New Year. I know I'm a bit late by the time I get this out, but it's currently, well, it's like the 2nd/3rd right now. And stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.